There were no
Members, we're going to reconvene the meeting now at 11:17. Representative Garofalo moves Senate File 209. And then Representative Garofalo, I understand you're moving the A8 amendment to Senate File 209, is that correct?
Mr. Chairman, that is correct. This is the language that we discussed before the recess.
All right. Okay, discussion to the A8 amendment.
And McNamara?
See no discussion? I don't know, Representative McNamara, did you have a, I guess we could adopt this first.
Okay.
Okay, see no discussion on the A8 amendment. All in favor of the A8 amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion prevails, the A8 amendment is adopted. Okay, Representative McNamara, is there still an issue on the were versus are issue?
No, I'm just going to let it go, Mr.
Oh, okay, Representative Hillstrom.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I believe you said the A8 and we were passed out the A9. So did you actually adopt the A8 or the A9 amendment?
The A8 amendment.
Thank you.
Yep, there is another amendment out too, the A9 amendment. Okay, so
Could I have a copy?
Representative Murphy.
Mr. Chair, could I have a copy of A8?
Okay, it was in your packet. Everyone should have had it. It was what we were talking about before that we started at 9 o'clock.
That was handed out.
Oh, it was handed out, excuse me. All right.
Here's the A8.
Do you have a copy of it, Representative Murphy?
I don't know.
Yes, I do now.
Okay.
Okay.
Representative Mahoney.
Mr. Chair, you talk about an A9 and, okay, I don't have a copy of the A9 amendment,
I have A8.
and I'm just wondering, I have an A10 amendment, is that to a different bill that we're going to be dealing with later?
I think the A10 amendment is to the House file. So, yeah, that would be we're dealing on the Senate file
Okay,
right now.
all right.
Right. Yeah, so that would be a different.
He just handed me something different.
Give him this.
Oh. Yeah, no, I got it. Thank you.
Good catch, man.
Okay. Members, okay, we have moved the Senate file 209. We've adopted the A8 amendment. Representative Garofalo.
Representative Hackbarth has an amendment.
Representative Hackbarth has an amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd move the A9 amendment.
Representative Hackbarth moves the A9 amendment. Representative Hackbarth.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And the A9 amendment essentially is the language that the Senate passed off the Senate floor last week. And it's contained, I think everybody has it in their file, Senate File 1006. It's the language that's in that bill. And it also has what was in our original bill, the legislative findings. And that's the gist of the A9 amendment.
Discussion to the A9 amendment.
Mr. Chair, I'm sorry, I don't have that. Was that in the packet?
No, that was just passed out.
Oh, okay. Representative Mahoney just handed it to me. Thank you.
Okay.
This is mine. You got yours.
Seeing no discussion, all in favor of the A9 amendment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Motion prevails, the A9 amendment is adopted. Okay, I don't know of any other amendments. Any other discussion to the bill? See none. All in favor of Representative Mahoney.
Mr. Chair, and to the members, I don't want to get too deep into the weeds here, but I don't like tying all this together because it is kind of what we were complaining about before. We are underneath the gun, and I'm going to recommend that we all pass this out of committee and get it to the floor because we have 6,000 people who are suffering on the Iron Range. But it's a process piece, and most people don't give a dang about process. But it is not good for us as an institution to tie these type things together, because as was said on the floor, what's the next thing we're going to tie together at some point? So it always comes back to bite us, even though when we think we're so smart.
1812.
Well, I suspect it will also get additional votes this way, too. But Any other discussion to the bill as amended? See none, all in favor of Senate File 209 as amended, being referred to the General Register, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion prevails. Senate File 209 is referred to the General Register. Representative Garofalo.
Mr. Chairman, I would move House File 2032 be referred to the General Register, and Mr. Chairman, my intent is to take up the same amendments that we just took up in this bill and take the same action on it.
All right, Representative Garofalo moves House File 2032 be referred to the General Register. And which amendment would you like first, Representative Garofalo?
We can start with A11.
A11. Representative Garofalo moves the A11 or A11 amendment.
And Mr. Chairman, this is the exact same language as we just passed.
Okay. Let me give people a chance to get the amendment and make sure they all have it in front of them and are feeling comfortable with it.
Mr. Chairman, maybe just if you could, I guess the question might be for some why.
I'm sorry, Representative
Why
Carlson?
this procedure?
Why are we doing both of them?
Yes.
I think so that we have both of them out in the General Register, ready to be acted on if they need to. I don't know if it's been determined yet if we're going to pass the House file or the Senate file. And so I guess since we've got them both before us, we thought we'd kick them both out there.
So we're, okay, I'm watchful, if you will, for vehicles and one thing and another. You and I had a little discussion, maybe this is a good time to bring it up, about whether there was going to be a supplemental bill, a House budget resolution, or not. And so this is just to be parked out there, but it's not the vehicle for something else.
Just the tax bill.
Just the tax bill, okay.
We already,
I heard what the chair of taxes said.
Representative Carlson, we already passed the vehicle bill earlier today. We don't need another one.
Well, I
It's always good to have
asked
multiple
about that.
vehicles.
That should be getting drafted.
So you mean I'm a co-author of a potential vehicle bill, is what you're saying, huh?
We like to do things in a bipartisan way.
Okay.
No, actually,
But seriously, I didn't mean to get into
seriously, the
vehicle,
Senate had given me that date moving bill before, and
Yeah.
so in cooperation, I moved it with them. I mean, I guess,
That was somewhat tongue-in-cheek, the vehicle bill, just, we are alert to that, though, but I,
sure.
on a serious note, wanted to know why we were passing out both bills, and I think you've said you're going to take, well, which one are you going to take up then, I suppose? You don't know yet?
I think we don't know yet, is the question.
But they'll both
Mr.
be
Chairman, I can
parked.
clarify on that.
Representative Garofalo, can you enlighten us?
I can state definitively, I don't know which one we're taking. I don't think it. I know I don't know. So,
All right. Representative Mahoney?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And Representative Garofalo, does House File 2032 have a Senate companion, and who's the author?
We're going through it a second time.
Representative Garofalo?
Mr. Chairman, Representative Mahoney, I do not know if there is a Senate companion, and I do not know who the author is.
Thank you.
Representative Hillstrom?
That was the question here.
Okay.
Mr.
All right, the A11 amendment then has been moved. I think everyone's got it. Seeing no questions on it, all in favor of the A11 amendment, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion prevails. The A11 amendment is adopted. And we have the A10 amendment in front of us. Representative Garofalo moves the A10 amendment. Representative Garofalo, this is the identical to the A8 amendment, is that correct?
Mr. Chairman, that is my understanding.
All right. Any discussion to the A10 amendment to House File 2032? See no discussion. All in favor of the A10 amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion prevails. The A10 amendment is adopted. I see no other amendments. Discussion to House File 2032 as amended. See no discussion. All in favor of House File 2032 as amended being referred to the General Register, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion prevails. House File 2032 as amended is referred to the General Register. As a, I did say that, didn't I? As amended.
You said it as amended.
All right. Members, I don't know of any other business to come before the committee today. Representative Carlson.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, alluding to the discussion we had, has there been any determination over the weekend or since last Thursday whether there's going to be a House budget resolution or the possible use of House Rule 4.05? Have you known what direction you're going to go?
Members, no, Representative Carlson, there's been no decision on that. And I actually don't anticipate we'll have a decision for some time. Members, what Representative Carlson is talking about is he talked to me on Thursday, I believe it was, about whether we were going to adopt targets this year versus using House File, or, House Rule 4.05, which basically just says when a bill gets to the floor in an even-numbered year, the amount that it gets to the floor at is its target. Both those rules have been used in past years, and I guess I haven't made a decision yet myself on which way I think we should go. We haven't really had discussion about that in our caucus. I guess if you have preferences that you'd like to convey, I'm happy to hear them. The third deadline, of course, isn't until, I think it's April 21st, so we've got a little while here still, but no decision has been made.
Okay, I'm not going to share a preference, Mr. Chairman, at this point, other than to say that maybe we can have that discussion later, but I think it's important at some point people know whether we're going to have a House budget resolution or whether we're going to go with 4.05. I guess I have some thoughts either way. It's been some time since we used 4.05. But it has been used, so maybe
My understanding was.
maybe we could explain a little bit.
2012 session,
maybe we could explain or have staff explain what the. You did give a brief description, but there are certain things you can do under 4.05 on the revenue side, but you can't expend the money, I think is my understanding of it. So you could raise revenue, but you couldn't spend it because it would be in violation of the bottom line. Is that a correct
Mr. Marks, could I call on you to make a comment on that?
Mr. Chair and Representative Carlson, House budget resolution deals with net targets for each committee, and net targets are generally looked at as the net effect on the fund, usually the general fund. So a bill that might spend $101 million and raise $1 million in fees or taxes or whatever is general fund revenue, the net impact would be $100 million. And Rule 4.03, or the budget resolution, limits that. Rule 4.05 keys off expenditures or spending. So it limits spending. It doesn't deal with revenue. And it limits spending by fund, and it limits actually future years as well as the current biennium or year. So it's yes, as you characterize it, you could raise revenue. An amendment would not be out of order if it raised revenue. It would be out of order, though, if it attempted to spend that revenue and spending it put it over the amount that was spent in the bill as it came to the floor. 4.05 also, it's not only general fund, it limits any fund, and it's spending in any fund by fund.
Yeah, and Mr.
Representative Carlson.
Chairman, the reason I mentioned that rule earlier today, and I had a question just exactly how that would work, and I explained it the way I just did, but I think it would be helpful, or was helpful, for the group to understand the difference between the budget resolution and 4.05. Thank you.
Any other questions before we adjourn the meeting?
Visitors, did you?
Visitors?
I wonder if they were waiting to be with the page they were announced or anything.
Oh, we do have a group of pages here, it looks like.
Oh.
Where are you from? All over. Oh, okay, this is the high school page program. Why don't you just tell us your name and where you're from, starting on maybe this side here.
Hi, my name is Samantha Plant, and I'm from St. Paul. My name is Chelsea Montgomery, and I'm from Bloomington. My name is Kate Nacko, and I'm from Hermantown. My name is Michelle Amikova, and I'm from Philippines.
I'm Ben Becker, and I'm from Drummond. I'm Philip Andrews, and I'm from Tam Lake.
Justin Glenn from St. Cloud.
Great. Well, welcome. We will probably see you otherwise around, and we hope you enjoy your time here. See no other business before the committee. The committee is adjourned.